Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got 10 NFL teams that have no chance in making the playoffs this year. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Looking deep, taking a shot downfield for Tyreek. Underthrown,
Damn.
intercepted.
Christian
2 months
Gonzalez.
after the 2023 NFL Draft, we published a video of 10 NFL teams that we thought had zero shot at making the playoffs. Suffice to say, our picks didn't age so well. 5 of the 10 teams on our list, the Los Angeles Rams, Green Bay Packers, Houston Texans, Cleveland Browns, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, wound up making the postseason.
Damn.
Alright, joke's on us. But for this year's edition, we're highly confident that we'll get at least 8 of these right. So, let's try this again as we dive into 10 NFL teams that have no shot at making the playoffs in 2024.
Okay. Let's see, man. Who's gonna be the 10? Panthers and Patriots gotta be
Minnesota
in here.
Vikings.
Minnesota
Make
Vikings.
no mistake, we love the J.J. McCarthy fit in Minnesota. He has the skill set to be
I mean,
this
they
team's long-term
might
answer
have a
quarterback, and it's
chance,
hard to
but
complain
I don't see them making the playoffs either. With Detroit being, you know what I'm saying, the best team in that division, you got the Packers up and coming, you got the Bears up and coming out with Caleb Williams, Romo Dunze, you know what I'm saying, the rest of the piece they added, DeAndre Swift and Keenan Allen. I really think that they're going to be on the bottom barrel of that division this year.
Justin Jefferson, TJ
I'm going to be giving
Hawkinson,
my
and
opinion about
Jordan
all of these.
But
So
folks, the Vikings aren't eyeing immediate title contention in 2024.
pausing the video
This
a
is
lot
a
in this
retooling year for
video.
Kevin O'Connell's squad. If they wanted to compete next season, the Vikings would have found a better bridge QB option than Sam Darnold. Yes,
Yeah.
Minnesota has the firepower to be a competitive team. We saw that last year when they squeaked out 7 wins despite using 4 different quarterbacks. But Darnold and a rookie QB are not going to turn Minnesota into a playoff contender this year. There are still holes on the offensive line and on the defense too. You know, that very defense that lost its best player, Danielle Hunter.
I mean, but they did. They don't get me wrong. Danielle Hunter is a huge loss, but they drafted Dallas Turner, and they also they signed Jonathan Gennard as well, who was really good for the Texans last year.
Of the mini roster,
I think that'll
isn't
low
even the
key
main
make
reason
up for
we
that.
have them on
You
this
know,
list. It's mostly because of the division that they play in. You see, both the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers are Super Bowl contenders.
Yep.
And the Chicago Bears should make plenty of noise with Caleb Williams, Romo Dunze, and Keenan Allen coming aboard. The Vikings are easily the worst team in their own division. One
Yep.
that might feature 3 postseason teams. If there is one team in the NFC North who's going to be picked on by its opponents, it's gonna be Minnesota. Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers have been held back by an
see, I low key don't agree with that. I think they might be able to sneak in because don't get me wrong, they did lose a lot of talent as well, but I feel like they did a good job with replacing some of that talent. Like Austin Eckler, they're replacing them with Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins. They drafted Joe Alt. They drafted Brandon Rice and Lyle McConkey to replace Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. You know what I'm saying? They still got Josh Palmer, who's a great solid third option. They signed DJ Chark. You know, I feel like they're gonna be just fine, but remember they are in the same division as Patrick Mahomes. But the Chargers are still easily the second best team in that division, with the Raiders and the Broncos absolutely being horrible, bro. So you know what I'm saying? But hey, the Raiders might trend up this year because they were great in the later part of the season last year with the head coach change. So you never know.
Always is held back by
never
inept
know, man.
coaching. Well, that problem appears to finally be addressed with the hiring of ex-Michigan Wolverines head coach Jim Harbaugh. This very man took over a hapless San Francisco 49ers team in 2011 and turned them into an NFL powerhouse. Why can't he eventually do the same with a Bolts team featuring cornerstones Justin Herbert, Joey Bosa, Derwin James Jr., and Joe Alt? Oh, we think he will. I mean, the Harbaugh hiring will definitely make a difference over the long run. But we're specifically talking about the 2024 season for this list. And the Chargers just aren't ready to make that jump to playoff contender just yet. They dumped their 2 best receivers, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and didn't bring back star running back Austin Eckler.
I mean, Eckler didn't really
Harbaugh and
perform
GM
the
Joe
best last year.
Ortiz
He
view this
also
as a
dealt
year
with
of
injuries.
transition with a new look roster. The Bolts were
And he's
mostly
getting
quiet
older.
in free agency and the trade market.
Nigga, I
Waiting
thought
until
this
the
nigga was
draft
about
to
to pull
select
his pants
George's
down. I'm about to
Lad
see what the fuck
McConkey
you
as
got
a
going
potential
on, freak ass
WR1
nigga.
with the number 34 pick. So, unless McConkey or Quentin Johnston step up and produce immediately, Herbert is not going to have any help. And since we're penciling in the Kansas City Chiefs as the AFC West champions, who do you see the Bolts realistically stealing a wild card spot from? The AFC North has 4 teams that can all contend for the Super Bowl. The AFC South produced 3 winning teams last year. The AFC East has the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, and a returning Aaron Rodgers to lead the New York Jets.
Yeah, I could see he's right with
way
this.
Too many star-studded teams in the AFC.
I could see
much
this.
deeper rosters than the Chargers. The playoffs will eventually return to La La Land with Harbaugh steering the ship, but not in 2024.
I probably don't see the Bills, you know what I'm saying, making the playoffs this year.
The Patriots are
the Patriots, yeah, for sure, yeah. They're definitely not making the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? They're the worst team in the division. Just like they're in the same spot as the Vikings.
Without question, the
you know what I'm saying, with a rookie QB and a bridge QB as well in the process.
Drake May or veteran Jacoby Brissett at QB, either of these guys promises to be an upgrade over the Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi tandem from last year. Not to mention that a healthy 2023 first-rounder Christian Gonzalez will solidify the secondary after missing most of his promising rookie year. But make no mistake, this is still a super flawed team that is, well, a long way away from contending again.
Yep.
They still have the league's worst set of offensive skill position guys, and Mike Onwenu is the only rock-solid starter on that offensive line. It's hard to see Brissett or May winning without a single Pro Bowl.
Bro, they could have chosen a better pitcher for Jacoby Brissett.
Rookie. Kendrick Bourne, KJ Osborne, and Juju Smith-Schuster are nothing close to being WR1s. Tight end
forgot about
Henry
KJ Osborne.
gets you 500 or so yards a season, but his numbers are never flashy. Throw in the fact that the Patriots reside in an AFC with not 1, not 2, but 3 potential Super Bowl contenders, and yeah, this is going to be another long year for a team entering year 5 of the post-Tom Brady era.
Damn, it's been 5 years. It's been 5 years already? He left in 2020. Yeah, it's been 4 years. What is this nigga talking about?
Make no mistake, the Commanders are on the right track. Dan Quinn and Adam Peters were perfect hires as head coach and GM,
the Commanders?
respectively. The Commanders aced free agency and have their hopeful franchise QB and LSU's Jaden Daniels, the number 2 pick of this year's draft.
I don't agree with this, bro. I don't, because the Giants are obviously not going to be playoff contenders this year. The Cowboys, we don't know what the hell is going on with them. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how good they're going to be. The Eagles, you know what I'm saying? They added a whole bunch of great talent in the offseason. You know what I'm saying? I think they got CJ Gardner-Johnson back as well. The Commanders might sneakily be the second best team in that division, you know? Because we don't know how good Dallas is going to be this year, honestly. Like, we saw them get their ass whooped. Got put belt to ass in the playoffs by the Green Bay Packers. So, you know, don't know what's going to happen with them. They did lose a lot of talent as well, especially on the defensive side.
A Super Bowl contender in just a matter of months. But, you know,
you never know, man.
Be fun to watch in
Jaden Daniels might take them to the promised land.
Playoffs are a bit of a pipe dream for Quinn's squad. We're totally buying the hype on Daniels, but like most first-year quarterbacks, he's going to experience growing pains as a rookie. Also, the defense remains a work in progress now that Washington is about to endure a full season without Chase Young or Montez Sweat.
Damn, I forgot about that.
The Commanders also reside in the NFC East with 2 shoe-in playoff teams in the Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys. So let's assume that the Atlanta Falcons, San Francisco 49ers, and Detroit Lions win their respective divisions. Can you really see Washington stealing a wild card spot from one of Philly and Dallas and the Los Angeles Rams, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, Seattle Seahawks, Packers, or...
I know this nigga ain't just put the New Orleans Saints in this. Come on now, bro. You're dragging this. You're dragging this, buddy. The Saints are nowhere near a playoff contender.
Away from actually emerging as a playoff
team in
the NFC. Tennessee Titans. At first glance, the Titans should be
better. I low-key agree with this, but I don't agree with this at the same time, because the Titans, you know what I'm saying, they did like I said in my previous video, bro, the Titans did add a lot of talent around Will Levis, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like even though they did add all that talent, they still have 3 other good teams in that division, like the Texans, you know what I'm saying, are obviously going to be the best team in that division. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars, you know what I'm saying, who added Brian Thomas Jr., they added Gabe Davis, you know what I'm saying, to help out Trevor Lawrence. They already had Travis Etienne. The Colts, you know what I'm saying, AR's coming back from injury. They added A.D. Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? They got a nice 1-2-3 punch with Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, and A.D. Mitchell. And they also got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield as well. I just don't know. It might be a toss up in that division this year. It's going to be a dogfight for sure. But the Titans, I don't see them possibly making it.
2015. Besides star wide receiver
because they did lose. I forgot about Tyler Boyd.
They traded for ex-Kansas City Chiefs star tight end L'Jarius Sneed and addressed the woeful O-line by using
they just signed Tyler Boyd.
Oh, and quarterback Will Levis should be even better in year 2 after a pretty decent rookie year. So why do we have the Titans on this list if improvement feels inevitable?
Because the division that they're in.
Well, you see, they play in an AFC South division featuring 3 teams who all finished above 500 last year. And all of them, the Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, and Jacksonville Jaguars, all made several blockbuster moves to strengthen their rosters. Like the Vikings in the NFC North, the Titans are the 4th best team in a very unforgiving division. Someone has to take all the punches in the AFC South, and the Titans look like they'll be that team. Levis is still unproven. The defense still has its flaws even after the Snead trade, and the O-line, which was ranked as football's worst by Pro Football Focus for 2023, isn't going to change overnight no matter how J.C. Latham fares as a rookie. Tennessee's rebuild is on the right path, but the odds of them making the playoffs in 2024 are as high as the next Star Wars trilogy being even half as good as the original one. So, in other words, not good.
Damn.
Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I agree with this. I agree with this, bro. I mean, just them adding Marvin Harrison Jr. and Darius Robinson on defense is not going to help you guys out. Y'all still have one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the league. Greg Dortch is decent, but you know what I'm saying? Marvin Harrison Jr. is not going to, you know what I'm saying, be able to do all the hard work along with Trey McBride as well, who's a solid tight end. You know, they still have a lot of missing pieces, especially on defense. They still need edge rusher. You know what I'm saying? Darius Robinson is a great start for that. They also need corner. You know what I'm saying? And Budda Baker might be getting shipped off, so they're definitely going to need safety as well. So they still have a lot of work to do.
That actually felt like an accomplishment given the lack of roster talent and the fact
I feel like they're moving in the right direction.
Arizona is doing the right thing by patiently rebuilding without any shortcuts. They'll reap the rewards of using the number 4 selection on Ohio State product Marvin Harrison Jr., who could be the NFL's best wide receiver in short time. But no, the Cardinals are far from ready to make some noise in the NFC. Murray, Harrison Jr., and Trey McBride are a nice foundation to build the offense around, yes. But the rest of the roster is loaded with question marks. Arizona's offensive line is still a work in progress, and the defense has 0 game changers outside of Pro Bowl safety Budda Baker.
And they might be losing him, like, bro.
Wasting money in free agency.
They've got a lot of fucking
He's rebuilding his team
through the field,
draft. The Cardinals will improve their win total from last year, but the playoffs, they're gonna be well out of reach. Not only because the division isn't good enough, but let's just keep in mind that they play in an unforgiving NFC West with the Super Bowl hopeful 49ers and 2 other playoff contenders in the Rams and Seahawks.
Yep.
Denver Broncos.
Yeah. I 100% agree with this. Not just because of the fact that, you know what I'm saying, they got a rookie QB at the helm, because, you know what I'm saying, Bo Nix is really good. You know what I'm saying, adding Troy Franklin to the mix as well. But, you know what I'm saying, they still are not where you would, you know what I'm saying, hope they are as a Broncos fan, because Courtland Sutton, you know what I'm saying, he's really good, but there's been rumors of him getting traded. Same goes with Patrick Surtain. You know what I'm saying, they still need more needs on defense as well. You know what I'm saying, they still need help at edge rusher. You know what I'm saying, because they still haven't really found their Bradley Chubb or Von Miller replacement. They still need another corner opposite of Surtain if he stays, because his contract is coming up also. You know, I feel like they're also in the same division as the Chargers and as the Kansas City Chiefs, you know, and the Raiders. They might be trending up in the right direction, you know, with the Pierce at head coach. I just don't see them making the playoffs for a little while now. Maybe in the next few years, you know what I'm saying, you start seeing that they're a playoff team. But I just don't see them even sniffing the playoffs, because I forgot they did lose Justin Simmons as well, and like I just don't see them sniffing the playoffs, bro. I really don't, and they're still paying Russell Wilson's contract.
The Broncos,
so they're going to be in cap hell for some time.
Payton never seemed sold on Russell Wilson as his QB. But of course, starting from scratch also means preparing to suck for at least a couple of years. The Broncos will have a QB room now of Bo Nix, Jarrett Stidham, and Zach Wilson. This already mediocre offense will now be without Judy, and the defense lost one of its few difference makers in Simmons. So, yes, the Broncos...
Surprised Justin Simmons is still a free agent.
It doesn't matter who the QB is, you just aren't gonna get much done with this wide receiver core. The defense has little talent outside of all-pro corner Patrick Surtain. And as we said on the Chargers slide, the Broncos cannot realistically expect to steal a wildcard berth from the plethora of contenders in the AFC. Add it all up, and Denver's playoff drought will extend by another year. This team is far from ready to make that next jump.
Yep.
Carolina Panthers.
100%. 100% Carolina Panthers. The worst team in the league last year. And probably the worst thing they could have done was trade away DJ Moore and just leave Bryce Young out to dry with no true number one receiver. I mean, yes, they did end up giving him a true number one with Deontay Johnson, and then they drafted Xavier Legette. They still have a lot of holes to fill, bro, because especially like on the defensive side, everybody, like they lost Brian Burns. They traded him to the Giants. They lost Dante Jackson. You know, JC Horn, you know, he's always dealing with injuries. So you don't know how much you can really rely on him to stay healthy. They need help on defense. Offensive line, I feel like they did a pretty decent job of fulfilling, you know what I'm saying, some of the holes there. They drafted Jonathan Brooks to go along with Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard. They still I don't think they're anywhere near a contender yet. They still need, you know what I'm saying, I feel like corner is definitely still a need for them, and probably another offensive lineman. But maybe in the next few years or so, you know what I'm saying, you start saying that the Panthers are trending in the right direction, just not right now, though.
Reshaping the offense around Bryce Young following his disastrous rookie year. But let's all hold our horses and not get too carried away just yet. Yes, the O-line will be better following the signings of Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt in free agency. Young's arsenal of weapons was also bolstered big time thanks to the Deontay Johnson trade and the draft selections of Xavier Legette, Jonathan Brooks, and Jatavian Sanders.
I forgot about Jatavian
Sanders.
Sanders.
That all those moves will actually pan out, at least not right away. And Carolina's already awful defense just got worse with the losses of Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin, Frankie Louvu, and Yetur Gross-Matos.
Oh, they lost Jeremy Chin too? Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, they definitely need help in the secondary.
Across the board and depth on defense to go from 2 to 10 wins. Assuming that the latter mark is what it takes to be a playoff team. New York Giants. The Giants had an interesting offseason.
Just because, like, they did a good job with adding, you know what I'm saying, Malik Neighbors. Daniel Jones has a true number one receiver now to go along with Jalen Hyatt and Darius Slayton. But Daniel Jones is still horrific, bro. He had it wasn't even that good of a season. He threw for over 3,000 yards. Like, it wasn't even that good of a season for them to pay him $40 million. I don't understand that, bro. And now they're going to be in trouble. If Daniel Jones doesn't play up to his contract this year, bro, I feel like they're definitely going to draft the QB next year. They're giving him one last shot because they could have drafted JJ McCarthy or Michael Penix or Bo Nix, but they chose to give him a true number one to see how good Daniel Jones really is. If he doesn't crack at least over 3,000 or close to 4,000 yards passing this year, he's gonna be without a job with the Giants, bro. They might either cut him or trade him, but that's gonna be a huge cap hit. I just don't understand this, bro.
Running back Saquon
They're in Detroit, and they lost Saquon as well.
Eagles and free agency.
But they did trade for Brian Burns, add him to that defense. But they did lose Xavier McKinney.
And despite never-ending rumors that they wanted to take a QB in round 1, the Giants used the number 6 pick on LSU's Malik Neighbors and chose to give Daniel Jones one last chance to prove himself. What could possibly go wrong? The Giants barely touched their atrocious offensive line, and their already mediocre defense lost standout safety Xavier McKinney to the Packers in free agency. But yes, GM Joe Schoen deserves credit for not wasting money in free agency the way that his predecessor Dave Gettleman did. But it's also hard to see how the Giants drastically improve from their disappointing 2023 win total of 6. Jones is a bottom-tier QB. The O-line stinks, and the defense doesn't have any strengths. Oh well, at least the Giants are set up to tank for a top QB prospect in the 2025 draft. Las Vegas Raiders. The
Raiders
Raiders had some splashy additions this
I mean,
offseason.
I already said what I had to say about the Raiders. They did add Christian Wilkins,
Georgia tight end Brock
Bowers, but they still, I feel like they still have missing pieces at corner.
Jimmy Garoppolo was the right move, but
damn.
do they really think that?
And they definitely need a elite QB. Hey, Gardner Minshew is pretty good. I think he might be able to turn him into a playoff team, but they're not going anywhere near the Super Bowl with him. Let's keep it a buck. Gardner Minshew's good, but he's not a Super Bowl QB. Like, come on now.
We don't think so.
Come on now.
Not overpaying for
They're gonna need to draft a
QB.
QB.
Certainly the right call, but it's hard to argue that their offense is any better without the 2022 Russian champion.
And they lost Josh Jacobs.
No real strengths, but no fatal flaws. They'll win 7 to 9 games, but they ain't making the playoffs with an O'Connell-Minshew QB tandem. But hey, which other NFL teams have no shot at making the playoffs in 2024? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video,
hey, what do you guys think is the team that has, you know what I'm saying, a chance, or not a chance to make the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? But hope you guys enjoyed, though. If you did, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on post notification, notify whenever I drop another banger video. We're on the road to 200 subs. Help me get more banger NFL content like this. Without further ado, I'm out. Gang!